it's 14 different cannons with names and numbers. Put their orders in. I'll send you them all later on.
Super.
Looks like we're live.
Yeah, I'm glad I announced that to the world.
Yes, because everyone's just waiting for us to go live. We've got at least 500 people waiting for us to go. Okay, where are you at?
The millions and millions.
All right, John, you want to kick us off then?
1 wee quick second.
Are you guys going back to the double jerseys? Or are you just going to stick with one single one for right now?
Right now, one single one.
Yeah.
It's
One step at a time, Jason. One step
yeah,
at a
exactly. You know what? I liked having a home and away jersey, but yeah, like I said again, it was a pain in the ass getting pulled.
I think I'm the only person left who's got the old Cannons sleeveless red away jersey.
Yeah.
And I like to break it out at training every now and then. Oh, like it's the the old sleeveless top. Yeah, these work.
That was the original. That was 2010. No, 2009.
That was the first year. That was the first year.
First year.
Yeah.
And it was a British supplier that had did that. And I was like, okay, we'll give them a chance. And then they came out sleeveless. So it was like, okay, sleeveless it is.
Yeah. One of the guys on my team, James, he sent us a message on the group chat saying, oh, I really like the Reds jerseys they've done, which were the exact same thing, but it just says Cincinnati. So I wore it at training the next day going, we had these.
We had these, yeah.
We had these jerseys.
Oh.
Yeah. Didn't have 4 guys lifting weights in the dugout, though, in between.
Yeah, we all look like Adam Dunn, just like, yeah. Because, yeah, I think the Devils had the original sleeveless jerseys back in the day. I want to see.
It was a black
that was,
wasn't it?
Pre Ray Brownlee? Maybe. I don't know. It's been a while. But yes, I think over the years, the last 20 years, we probably had about 7 different suppliers of uniforms.
Right, I'm ready to go because none of my devices seem to be working tonight.
So what you're saying is you're having a really good night.
Yeah, what a start! What a phenomenal start. And now I've lost the page I was at. There we go. That's better. Right. I'll leave that there. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ball Caps and Bagpipes, a Scottish baseball podcast. I am the Glasgow Comets' John McKellar.
And I'm Jason Durr, former league president and Baseball Scotland Hall of Famer.
And I can see you're all kind of kitted out here in your Cannons gear for one of our guests this evening.
For all the guests, come on now. I wore this just for you. But yes, it was time to break out all this stuff at the beginning of the season here. And yeah, I've decided to go full on there. You know what? I'm gutted because I can't find my Scotland hat. I don't know what happened to it.
You probably sent it away to somebody.
I probably did trade it. I'll be honest. I probably did trade it to somebody. So
yeah. Yeah, so for all intents and purposes, the first competitive baseball of the season is coming up. And that's why we have these fine gentlemen here with us this evening. Let's introduce our guests first off. We have a couple of guys returning to the show. First off, you've got Scottish Baseball Scotland President Paul Convoy.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, man? And we have Rory Dunn of the Edinburgh Cannons back with us. Thanks for joining us this evening, Rory.
I can't believe you have me back. Who'd have thought?
It wasn't by choice, let's be honest. It was just we needed somebody else. You were free. It's always good to hear from you, Rory.
So you guys are back here to talk about the upcoming Battle for Britain tournament. The most recent news coming out of Baseball Scotland, of course, being the roster announcement. Let's get into that in just a bit. Jason, let's catch up first, however, on your NLBMR exploits. I see you've had a couple of interviews that you've done over the past week or so.
We've done a big one. So obviously we are supporting the Sean Gibson of the Josh Gibson Foundation, JG MVP 20, because that was supposed to run last year. And it's the Josh Gibson. We're pushing his, I guess we want to call it, legitimacy for the renaming the MVP title after him. So it's down to 3, Josh Gibson being 1. Frank Robinson being the second one, and Frank Robinson because he's the only person to win the MVP, both the AL and the NL. And obviously they're naming it after Branch Rickey. So our line of thought is, you know who Branch Rickey is. He was the person who broke the color barrier. You know who Frank Thompson is. His legacy is obviously established. And Josh Gibson, we've done the Sabres done the research. And if he had played in the major leagues at his time, they figured he would have won a minimum of 8 MVPs during his time. So it would be fitting to have the guy who kept him out of the major leagues to rename the trophy after him. So the big card launched yesterday with FDOT, and he's done a Josh Gibson MVP card too. So they're having a card art competition, and we're supporting it, and we're doing some interviews with the artists. A lot of the guys don't do interviews, so it's not been as great as we had hoped, but a lot of these guys are just doing it for fun there, and they haven't done that. So we're hoping it picks up steam over the next 6 to 8 weeks. And I'm submitting my own card. So my goal is to do better than Heavy J. So he was going to rap for his. So I got to figure out some sort of dancing video or something to get my votes up. Exactly. So fingers crossed. I'm actually hoping that one of the artists we've interviewed before is going to help me out, because I have the idea that I want to do, and let's see if he can actually make it into the concept, and then we can call it a collaboration. So.
Excellent. So NLBMart.com and JGMVP20.com, I believe.
The campaign's being run through Twitter, and you can find it on Instagram as well. I'll post everything that's up every day. But to get your votes in, there's an artist released every day out through the week, Monday through Friday, and then the voting goes on all week and then through the weekend.
Excellent. Let's move on from that to some Major League Baseball. There have been a lot of no-hitters this season. Jason, have you ever seen anything like this?
No, obviously it's not. We've discussed this a lot. A few people, we think a lot of it's due to the change in hitting. Obviously, the 3 true outcome style, and there's a lot of people saying there's be change. Who knows? Like I said, it's early in the season. The bats haven't woken up yet, so everyone's kind of had a year off, I would really say there. So we'll see what happens there. So I'm all for more no hitters. I'm not going to say no. As a pitcher, I enjoy them.
I thought it was just because they keep playing Seattle. Is that
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's only been a week since the last one, so we must be due this week. I don't know who we're playing. Yeah, because I run the Mariners account, and it's become an ongoing joke now to say, "Hey, we're not getting no hit tonight." So
I've seen some people theorize as well that it might be that the pitchers are cheating.
Yeah, well, there was the John Means one who said he turns his body to hide there.
Yeah.
So
He makes it quite obvious as well. He's like tapping in his glove and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, don't make it obvious.
You talk to hitters, they'd rather have pitchers that had control of the ball there, so low substance there. It's not anything unusual. It's not like it's a spitball where you don't know where it's going. So it's early in the season. Like I said, the bats are cold.
Is this like a reverse steroid era where this is the pitchers getting the revenge now that they can't juice? So
remember they deadened the ball as well. So
usually baseball de-juice the ball, and so the pitchers are just motherfuckers.
Yeah, who knows? Like I said, I still find it hard to watch games these days. So there's not a whole lot of action. I think you go something ridiculous like 8 minutes between any kind of action on the field. So and watching the Mariners, it's watching paint dry, so it's not very good.
Let me ask all three of you guys. You guys have all been involved in Scottish baseball for quite a bit longer than I have. Have any of you ever seen anybody in Scotland pull anything like the rosin on the finger, or any kind of ways of cheating and manipulating the ball when they've been pitching? It's been obvious enough to catch, at least.
I feel terrible to talk about it while he's here, but
you just a little jalapeno in the nose and all such a time.
It was always the running gag on the Cannons bench, the old major league jalapeno in the nose.
Yeah, exactly. At least they didn't ever resort to Vagisil, so we're okay. If you you've not watched Major League, go watch that movie. You'll get the jokes.
Paul, you're suspiciously quiet.
I'm saying nothing.
Well, okay, moving swiftly on from there. Let's bring our guests in now. Rory, I want to start first off before we get into the Battle of Britain by asking you about the Cannons. How's your off-season been? Obviously, it's been an off-season like no other, and it's been about a year and a half long. How are you guys feeling? How's the roster looking? And what are your kind of expectations for this coming season?
Or do we want to cover this next week and then there? We have everyone on if we can. Ooh. Well, let's give us your preview there, and then we'll talk about Battle of Britain.
Okay. Yeah, like you're right. It's been a long off season. A lot of my guys, they've been champing at the bit. The group chat has been non-stop. Some of it legible, not a lot of it baseball orientated, but it's been going, which has actually been great for keeping everyone's spirits high during the kind of the tough year and a half it's been. I think from the training games we've done the past couple of Sundays, I like the Cannons roster we have at the moment. I think folk, obviously our last league competitive games was 2019 when we had some very good pitching and maybe just a little lack of hitting. I feel we're a lot more balanced now, and I feel that there's a really nice atmosphere around the team. Everyone's enjoying their baseball and enjoying being back. So I think it's going to be a good, fun year to enjoy some Cannons baseball.
What I like to hear. Yes, just what I want to hear. Cannons are coming back. It's like 2013 all over again.
Nothing like objective broadcast journalism, is there? Jason, you managed to get down to some training this past week. How did you find it being back at the field, seeing sort of Cannons and Devils, faces both old and new? How was it to get back down to the field for the first time? I think for you has been quite a while.
It has been quite a while. It was good to see everyone there. There was a couple of old faces there, a lot of new faces who I didn't obviously recognize there. I have to admit, like the itch is already coming back. I was already telling Rory that I might come down for a Friday night training, get some batting practice in. So it might be a good chance for me to get away from the kids for a few hours and go down and hang out there. So I won't be joining the games yet, but definitely go down and say hi to everyone and definitely have that itch to at least throw the ball around.
Watch this space, folks.
It's not going to happen. I will.
Jason there is going to have played in a baseball game by the end of this season.
No.
You have to take his plaque down from the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. No. I'll definitely go down and watch. I was just saying, like, we were planning to come on down and watch a few games. Obviously, you're playing, so you'll be able to do that there. But come down and catch at least an hour of the game so I can have an idea what's going on and say hi to everyone. And like I said, looking forward to this season of ball caps and bagpipes so we can get our audience to know what's going on.
Yeah. I believe you and I have a date, Rory, on the 13th of June. So I'll be seeing you then in Edinburgh.
Oh, you're talking about the game? I thought you meant we had a more intimate arrangement.
Yeah, exactly. The lockdowns were straight lifted. You've got a date already. Wow. It's not happening in Glasgow, I'm assuming.
That's
no dancing in Glasgow.
That's our first game that's not an Inter-Edinburgh derby for about 2 years. So hopefully we have a lot of pent-up hitting aggression that we're going to take to Glasgow. But it'll be good to see you, John.
Looking forward to getting back to some semblance of a league season. But it's great to know that you guys are coming along well. Now, I wanted to ask you, since you're here, about the Giants now. With the Giants not being in the league again this year, how has that impacted your roster? Do you feel that the numbers in Edinburgh in general were depleted enough that it's not going to make too much an impact, or have you managed to bag a couple of extra bodies?
Well, from a Cannons standpoint, we're flush with Giants. There's actually been quite a few folk who were missing over the past few years that have come back. I don't know if that's just the fact that a year of sitting doing nothing and folk are keen to get back outside and playing baseball. I still think it's the point where if we tried to do 3 teams, it would have been a constant struggle every week to get 3 teams, moving around the country, organizing that. I definitely think this year with 2 teams where neither team's going to have to struggle to field a team. We have a good depth of players for both. Get folks' interest back in, and then hopefully next year we can bring the Giants back. But that's for us. I mean, Paul, I don't know if you have more to add from that, since it's kind of you're the overseer of it all.
I think with the Giants, there's still the core players are still there, and obviously they need somewhere to play. So we've tried to balance out both the Cannons and the Devils from what was left of the Giants roster, and I think it has strengthened both those teams, which I think will make for an extremely competitive season. I mean, I know. Yeah, your comments, John. They've strengthened tremendously this year. And the Galaxy have probably balanced themselves out a little bit with the rest of the league based on who they've lost, sadly, for the league, obviously. And Aberdeen, they've strengthened for going from 2 teams to 1. And the unknown is Table. But based on their recent announcement for a couple of their signings in the off season, they've got a good team to compete as well. This should be a great season.
Yeah, I think the mix of it being a truncated schedule and the different, the impact that the pandemic has had, in addition to other factors over the past couple of years, has had on rosters. I think this is the makings of potentially being one of the most competitive seasons of Scottish baseball that I can remember being involved in. For the last few years, it's been pretty much the Galaxy and then the chasing pack.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still going to be able to be the case? I mean, John Tafe is fantastic at managing his team, but he's lost that one crucial core piece that was the kind of pièce de résistance that he used to really dominate. It's going to be really interesting to see how he works around that. Obviously, our guys have strengthened quite a bit. The 2 Edinburgh teams we've covered, the fold into the Giants, at least temporarily, might strengthen both the Cannons and Devils. And with the return of some guys that have been around in the past, Aberdeen, like the Oilers, have potentially a really strong lineup. And then you've got, obviously, Teaport, who, as you've said, they've made a couple. They've kind of very sneakily made some fantastic signings over the off season. They've had they've just been the kind of quiet ones that waited until the end of free agency, right? Oh, that guy's available for cheaper, so let's snatch him up, and then he becomes an MVP. So it's going to be a really, really fun season to play in.
I didn't know Jerry Tapito lived in Dundee. It's really good to see people doing that kind of thing.
He's scouring the earth to find anyone to trade for.
Righto. Guys, let's move on from the Baseball Scotland season, because obviously we're going to cover that in a lot more depth next week, in the weeks to come. Let's talk about the Battle for Britain, which is the reason we're here this evening. This is a tournament down at, I believe it's at Farnham Park this year.
It is, yes, the British home of baseball.
Yeah. Tell us, Paul, about what we can expect from Battle of Britain this year, and how it's all come together. Obviously, how's it taking shape amidst all the restrictions and uncertainty around travel and what have you?
Yeah, so it's been a weird one. It was announced early this year that there was going to be another Battle for Britain tournament, and it was going to be at Farnham Park, and it was going to be bigger. So there's now 12 teams taking part, and it's over 2 divisions. So Baseball Scotland's taking part at the AAA level, BT Vectra and the Southwest Rebeldes from the southwest of England. There's the Bracknell, to get this right, Bracknell Blazers, I believe, are at the AAA level. They've got a team in single A as well. And Kent Buccaneers, who are the sort of primary organisers of it all at AAA level, and then the Northern Knights, which is the all-star team from the British Baseball League in North England. This is going to be a hell of a baseball tournament for the UK. I think bar National League teams, these are the best teams in that we could play in, and it's going to be fun. I'm so pumped. Can't wait to see some good quality baseball.
Yeah. It's a hell of a way to start the baseball calendar after such a long layoff. Now, we previously have gone down and won the Battle of Britain in the Team Scotland camp. How confident are you going into this one? Do you feel that we've got the pieces to repeat that success? Obviously, we did manage to kind of defend that crown last year with all the restrictions and stuff that were going on.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the chances this year?
The exact same that we felt in 2019. We know we have quality players up here. We do. And we went down there and we surprised people in 2019. Admittedly, a few people down there were surprised to see how well we played. But compared to 2019, we've lost four of the best players that have played in Scotland. The 2 marked ones that I can think of right off the top of my head are obviously Sam Davidson and Adam Murphy. So not having those guys is a huge hole to fill. But then we have Stephen Evans returning, and we have still the core players from that 2019 team, such as Rory, Federico, and Jim. Well, they were the sort of, and Ren as well, obviously. Yeah, I mean, I was going to get to the youth stars that we've got. So yeah, I mean, obviously with those sort of core veterans of baseball, and then back to them, we've got Ren and Connor coming along, who have just gotten better every year. Even in the off season, they were playing down in London with the Legends team run by Coach Rodriguez of the GB team. So we have, on paper, probably a stronger team than we did in 2019. But obviously, these other teams they've been made stronger as well, because it is now just a solely AAA tournament we are playing in. And there's a single A tournament alongside it, which has the East England Baseball League and West Midlands Baseball League and a few other single A teams taking part. But yeah, the AAA tournament is going to be tough and competitive. It really is. And I know the fact is the Northern Knights team, they have some strong players in their team. It'll be tough, but we intend to bring that trophy home.
Fantastic, and here's hoping you do it. Rory, I'm going to ask you the same question. How are you feeling about the makeup of the roster? How are you feeling about the tournament itself? Are you confident? Are you nervous? How are you feeling about it?
I'm nervous. I'm not going to get a chance to play. As Paul was right. We're a deeper squad this time, and it's not even that we're taking more people. It's just the talent across the squad is much deeper. No offense to everyone that came the last time, to what people were bringing down. And I have said to Paul, I'm quite happy just to wave folk round third base and go and have a beer afterwards, if that's the role that I play, because we're taking such a talented group of folk down. I think we have as good a chance as anyone. The format of the tournament does mean that there's going to be just a large element of luck. It's 1 hour games or 4 innings. And, it can be one error can be the entire game when it's that quick. So I think we need to be lucky as well, as anyone does, to get through. But that can work for us. We've been lucky in the past. I think, I don't know about that. But no, it's definitely an excellent group. And everyone that I've talked to about it is like 120% psyched, pumped, ready for it. We've got more pitching this year, so we can already say to folk, you're doing this game, you're doing this game. They're already starting to focus in on that. They can, be better prepared rather than just asking 2 guys to throw their arms off over a weekend. So yeah, no, I think we're coming down better prepared, better stocked, and hopefully we're coming home with some gold.
Fantastic. The guys, let me ask both of you. The Farnham Park complex is, like you said, Paul, it's like the home of British baseball. It's probably by far the most cutting edge ballpark in the UK. How does that factor in? Obviously, in the Scottish League, we're used to some unique bobbles and some odd terrain in our fields. Do you think this could play to our advantage to have an easier field to play on, or do you think that it could potentially pose a threat to Scottish baseball players and that they haven't been, they're not used to that faster pace of playing on like the kind of smoother turf?
It's hard to tell. Every club's going to be in the same boat, really. There's no perfect fields in the UK outside of London, really. Plenty of guys do a great job of maintaining their fields, but at the same time, we are not a professional setup here in the UK. But to compare our fields to Farnham, yeah, we are moving into a professional type environment. Centre field's 400 feet. That's compared to what 300 in it.
I don't know. We made it pretty deep when John Nelson was playing.
We could have made it any deeper. He almost put it in the Botanics when he came to Edinburgh last time.
Oh, I know. I had to play left fielder, you bastards.
That was just for you, John. I wanted to make you run, so I just put as much fence on as I could.
So to be fair, I think down, at least when we used to set it up, down right field line was set about 260, 265 to the bottom of the hill. And I had to keep telling people to move right field or left field back because they kept doing it short because it was 270 down that way. So even if you move it back, another 30 feet, it didn't really make much of a difference. I think probably the most we could do in left field was probably about 330, which would be major league standard.
Yeah, I think we mentioned how we played the Battle for Britain in Edinburgh, another Battle for Britain, the Bobby Thompson Invitational in Edinburgh in 2019. I mean, we had 330 down left and 365 in centre. And that was a fairly. There was only 2 home runs that whole weekend, I think. So that was all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the quality of the fields down there are something else. I mean, I'm just looking forward to instructions for a sunken dugout.
Yeah, dugout's going to be a bonus. But a pitcher's mound in a dugout, like, that's going to be unusual.
Now, guys, let me ask you both again. With the talent pool that we have going down there, the deeper kind of squad of more experienced players, and even the younger guys are very talented players. How do you guys coach a team like that, especially a team that aren't used to playing together week after week? You know, this is kind of an all-star team. How do you get them together and coach them to obviously do better than you know their individual performances are going to bear out?
That's a tough question to answer. It's
You're the coach.
I sort of asked Rory to come along and be my sort of second down there, so I didn't have to take the blame if anything went wrong. But I mean, really he'd seen the most of the pitching staff in Edinburgh. We're taking 4 pictures from Edinburgh actually. So that's the main reason that Rory's come along, is because he went with them all off season.
He brings his 20 years experience of baseball.
And that as well.
You're ranking me here. It's only 17.
I know, it's only 17. But, yeah.
But no, we're all going down there with the same goal. That's the thing. I mean, we've got Stephen, who's sort of leading the Aberdeen contingent. Sadly, with the restrictions that are currently in place, we've only got a few guys with Glasgow able to make it along. But apart from Zach, we know these guys very well. You know, we've played together for years. Zach Dabasco's the only new one, and in the 45 minutes that I did get to speak with him through the Stirling a couple of weeks ago, that man is the cheeriest, happy-go-lucky guy I've ever met in my life. He will talk to anyone. So I don't think there's going to be a problem with any sort of camaraderie.
He's all right for one of them.
Yeah, he's good fun with the sounds of it. But all the guys are, and we're going to there to win, but primarily have fun and play some competitive baseball, which we have all missed so much because of this goddamn pandemic. But yeah, we're all going down there with intent to have fun and win and play together. You know, and baseball's a game where it's possible to do that. You know, each person knows their position, they play it well, and if they do even half their job, they'll be good.
Rory, how do you see your role from a coaching standpoint? Obviously, Paul's mentioned you know how he's looking at it. How do you approach that role of second or assistant coach?
You repeat everything he shouts, but just louder. No, I mean, I think, you know, as for a second, because I see where, you know, Paul's got the game. It gives you the opportunity to go and have that kind of chat with someone on the bench about something specific that helps out a single person without calling attention to the fact. If someone's just made an error, you can go and talk about it and make sure they're not sweating it, what they did wrong, you know, how they can do it better. We do this a lot, obviously, with the rookies during the whole league year in the training. And it means, as a one coach, you're not trying to keep everything running and then singling out someone who just booted a ground ball, or, you know, you can go and talk to the pitchers and kind of, you know, this ain't working for you, try this. I watched this guy in the game previous, we went and scouted that team already. They're all up in the fastball work, you know, that kind of thing. And that lets Paul focus on more who's playing where, when, getting the big picture, if you will, organized. And then if needs be, you can go and chat to someone, or, I mean, no doubt he'll send me out to go and pull the pitcher if needs be, because that's me a bad guy. So
that's Stephen Evans' job. That's what he's doing.
How have you already decided, guys, how you're going to approach player rotation and the amount of minutes or innings that guys are going to get with it being 1 hour at 4 inning games, like you said,
Yeah.
Rory, it's probably a different approach you're going to have to take than you would normally have in a Baseball Scotland National League game. And obviously, you've got a roster that's very much an all-star roster, and we'll go through them one at a time in just a bit. But have you already kind of got a plan set in motion, or are you going to, is it going to more be we'll see how it goes?
To be honest, I have a plan for the first game, which is against BC Vetra. I will then be just paying attention to how the rest of the teams play from there. Luckily, our first game is the second game of the day in the morning, so we'll hopefully get down there just in time to see the Kent Bucks and the Bracknell team play. So we'll get a feel for them. Then we'll watch the Rebels and Northern Knights after our game. And we'll make a plan based on the opponents. I've had a rough plan in my head for game 2 as well against the Rebeldes on the Saturday afternoon. It did involve Albert and both Albert and David Flores, but unfortunately they're unable to make it right now as it stands due to restrictions. Also, if things change before Friday, there's still time. Please, Nicola.
Just an exception for the weekend.
It involved heavily on those two for that second game. You know, being against Latin Americans.
Get them key worker players.
Yeah, I would say professional athletes. Professional athletes get a pass, don't they?
I believe Instagram influencers do. And I mean, what qualifications do you need for that?
To be fair, have you seen David's Facebook story? I mean, he probably passes an influencer.
I've got fashion sense, tell you that. Albert's got a few ducklet photos on Facebook. I've seen them.
Oh yeah, a couple of stylish boys. That's a shame that those guys are kind of in limbo at the moment. Let's move on though and talk about the composition of the roster. Obviously, with the restrictions and with the sort of nature of the way things are this year, there have been some slightly different ways you've had to approach putting the roster together. I think there's been a sort of a certain number of players allowed per city. Am I right in saying that?
No, it was. We tried to find out who was available to travel.
Yeah.
We always had in our head who would like to go, but that list was about 25. Yeah. We had to sort of just whittle that down and see who was available to go, and then just sort of take it from there and assess who was game ready, and that relied on information from Stephen in Aberdeen and John in Glasgow and Jason through in Tapo. Unfortunately, there is no Tapo representation on the roster, and that's purely because none of them could get either time off work to travel or take that risk to travel because of the possible restrictions. And we'd been through this last year where we were all set to go, and then the 2 weeks before we were all set to travel, we had to call it off because of the latest news in the pandemic. So guys are a bit gun shy with that as well, you know. And I didn't want to promise the world to them to say they come down and play when all of a sudden we couldn't. I mean, with this new Indian variant that's going about with the COVID, you know, there was that possibility a week or so ago. Luckily, we've managed to avoid any disaster. I'm trying not to say too much in case I jinx us.
No, it's all good.
It's only Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. No, fingers crossed. You know.
But it was seeing who was available, who was game ready, and taking it for there. I've managed to see everyone that's going play this season so far. Season rather. But, yeah. That's about it.
Thanks, man.
They say you're doing your best you can, Paul. I mean, like I said, there's not much you can do. We're all waiting, like, for updates on a Thursday. Okay, what are we gonna do now? And I just want to say that you're doing a fantastic job there. So that, you know, we'll just make sure that you get some love from everyone else.
What's the tier like down where Farnham Park is? Are you guys going to be able to hit the town and have a nightclub if you guys win the trophy?
Not without Albert.
We'll see. There's a bar at Farnham Park though, so you know we didn't have to leave the baseball field to have a beer after we win it.
Let's go over the provisional squad then. Now I can see just from what you've told us that it's going to be slightly out of date already.
Yeah.
The Baseball Scotland Battle for Britain squad 2021. is done. That would be yourself, Rory. Quantrill, that would be your Rain. McFarlane, who's a player I'm not entirely
That's Mookie.
familiar with.
Yeah, he's known as Mookie.
Mookie. And which team is he with?
Best team.
The best team.
There's no homerism going on tonight, that's for sure.
There's Rowe.
That's Peter Rowe. He's new he was new last season, but
Yeah.
also a cannon.
He was new last season, the Phantom season.
Yeah.
Silverberg.
Steve Silverberg, another new cannon in Edinburgh.
So the Cannons are going down to play for the
Team
Battle of
that's
Britain.
on his
All right.
Del Rosario.
Miguel Del Rosario starting shortstop for the Edinburgh Cannons.
Go for it last year. So. 2 years ago.
Hernandez.
Ivan Hernandez, he's a devil.
Finally.
He'll be
Nyman.
treated at mid-season again. Don't worry.
Thomas Nyman. Thomas Nyman's another new devil. Ivan's another one that joined us last year, but obviously not season.
Peterson, I believe that's Miles Peterson, who
It
is
is, yes.
formerly of
Former
Edinburgh.
cannon.
Yeah.
Former cannon.
Exactly. See,
Also known as Judas Iscariot out east. He's a Glasgow Galaxy player. So that's going to be interesting to play against Miles in the derby. I'll be sure and boo him extra loud for you, Rory. Boo! I'll chant "fuck your birthday" unlike the Yankees fans did at Altuve.
so the question is, what position is he playing? That was what we were doing, because we know Miles as a catcher, and that position's filled in for the Galaxy.
I don't know.
Wait, have you not done a practice? Yeah, you're my Glasgow correspondent, and you've
I
not
haven't been to training for a while. I've been far too busy. That's why
since what, 2020? Come on now, like I haven't been down to training.
I saw Miles briefly once, but we've been kind of splitting into different groups.
It's okay, John. Just give me a hard time.
Yeah. When the season starts proper, I'll get my eagle eyes.
All
out.
right, we'll know what position Miles is
I'll
playing.
be all over it.
Yes.
I've got Evans, Big Stephen. He is back in Scotland forever. He's finally back with us, and he will be representing the old Granite City Oilers. What does it mean to have somebody that experienced and that talented back with us in the Scotland squad?
Well, I mean, as excited as I am, you can multiply that by about 50, and that's Stephen's level of excitement right now.
Yeah.
That man, I've got to peel him off the roof every time I see him. He's absolutely buzzing for this. And he's looking forward to facing some of the people he's been talking to and coaching seminars and stuff. So he's ready. He is ready.
It's great to have Stephen back, and we've got another Aberdeen fella, Federico Gambidotti, who we had on the show previously, Jason. He's a very talented, I believe he's primarily a pitcher. He can play a couple of different positions, but Federico, I imagine, will probably be primarily used as a pitcher down south.
He's pitching shortstop, third. I mean, wherever you play Federico, he's a phenomenal player. One of the best.
Translation, I haven't decided yet. Or I want to.
I'm not giving anything away, you know. This is live, John. This is live.
You know, we know the other teams are watching this. He's not going to give a starting pitcher for the game one. Come on.
He's the opener.
He's
the opener. One batter and he's out.
Oh yeah, the opener. That's it. You're going with the opener this year, right?
Do we not have the 3 batter minimum, Paul?
No. That's one thing we didn't discuss.
Yeah, that will go. We've got Jared Thomley.
Yes, another Oiler for the season. Former Express player last in 2019. He's going to be one of our catchers. Thankful that we've got other catchers now because he's poor knees, as he put it.
Was it Jared that had the absolutely lights out 2019 season from a batting standpoint? He had like a massive average. Like just absolutely crushed. Yeah,
Jared's an absolute player. He'll be handy.
I've got Gardner. I don't think it's Brett Gardner.
Oh, better. It's Paul Gardner.
Yeah, exactly. I'm willing to say I like Paul Gardner, but I like better than Brett Gardner.
Now, This is blasphemy, guys. I'm not going to have it on my show.
Are you feeling like you're ganged up tonight? Are you feeling outnumbered?
I know.
Where's my Red Sox hat? Give me a second. Oh, my God.
Oh, the power of the babe compels you.
I've got your Thurman Munson card here somewhere that I keep meaning to send out. Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's still right here. It's right there.
Power of the Tash compels you.
There you go.
We've got Smith.
That's young Connor.
We've got Rodriguez, who will probably not make it. Albert,
Yeah.
my teammate.
I'm still keeping my fingers crossed.
Let's hope so. Albert, let's be honest, Albert will find a way down there. This is the kind of guy Albert is. He will be there waiting for you when you get there. Oh, wait a minute. We've got Glasgow Galaxy mainstay Jim Sihar.
Yes, yeah, Jim is he's the stone wall of Scottish baseball.
Yeah, a guy whose experience, whose glove, and his bat are just so handy for any lineup, including this All-Star lineup.
And also with Jim comes Bat Boy Calvin. That's super. That wee man's banter is brilliant.
What's Rooney supposed to do while he's down there? We've got Zachary Dabasco, who we've the aforementioned Zach. He is the only one who's actually likely to be going down of the Glasgow guys, it looks like.
Yeah, Zach, Jim, and Miles.
And lastly, we have David Flores, who's also a Comet teammate of mine.
Yeah.
I hope that those guys get to go down because obviously, without coming across too biased, they are two of the best players in the country. So it's going to be
absolutely, yeah,
a shame if the Baseball Scotland team misses out on their talents. Albert is, his impact on Scottish baseball has been, covered to death by everyone who's ever played here. And David, from the very small sample size I saw, he pretty much single-handedly helped us win a cup last year in the only competitive game that managed to play. So he's definitely a talent that is one to watch. And fingers crossed that Nicola lets us out of the house. we all get ungrounded and just in the nick of time. I'll send her a wee email.
She's probably watching. Big fan.
Exactly.
Nicola, if you're watching, please let us out.
Any Nicola. It doesn't even matter which Nicola. Just one Nicola.
Yeah, just any Nicola. Guys, that is the 2021 Baseball Scotland squad for the Battle of Britain tournament. It's this weekend. It's right around the corner, Friday 29th to Sunday the 31st of May. Is that right?
Saturday
29th, yeah.
Saturday's the 29th, yeah. So Saturday the 29th, Monday the 31st. I'll wake up at some point.
We're returning into Matt Mutton. He's covering there. He's going down there and watch the games. He's going to do that. Yeah. So I'm sure he's going to want to talk to you guys down there and find out what's going on there. And he's going to keep us in the loop there. I think he's super excited. I know he wants to go and see everything is down that way. He is dying to come up to Edinburgh and watch a game. So notice you said Edinburgh, not Glasgow. So
I'm going to ask Matt to do some video interviews with some of your players, and so that we can put them on the show and play them.
That'd be awesome. So I had a question. So there's a couple guys down in London. Were they unavailable? So I'm thinking of Glasgow former manager Xander. Is he not available?
Yeah, former legend Xander Harrison. Yeah, I believe he might have a game.
So there's still games going on. Okay.
Possibly. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. I know he was swithering. I know that, and he said if he was available, he would play. And sadly,
fair enough. Like I said, if they have a league game the next day, then I can totally understand that's there. And then and catcher Ewan Shields. Where's Ewan?
Ewan has to work.
Oh,
he's
man. Man, that's a shame. I would love to see Kenny Powers out on the field there for you guys.
We're saving on the chaw budget. We're putting the chaw budget back into the fuel tanks at least. So.
Oh, that's good. That's why the bank account's so healthy, because we don't have to spend it on chaw. That's good.
Both those guys were on the 2019 team that won the trophy. And I do believe Federico will miss Xander a lot, because during Xander's many stories in the bar one night, Federico was lost and looking for a translator.
Oh, that's
Fortunately, his
good stuff.
translator was Lee Stoddart. That's good it was.
That sounds like it was a good night out.
Fantastic.
Guys, thanks so much for coming back on the show, both of you. All the very best to you guys and all the lads and maybe a few lassies that are going down. Please bring that trophy back home. We were robbed of the opportunity to defend it last year, so let's put that right and won the Scotland.
Do you know if they had any plans to maybe live stream it? Maybe we can convince Matt to do a Facebook live stream or something like that.
Not heard of any plans to do that.
No, because I know sometimes they live stream the games at Farnham Park, but yeah, if you guys find out anything about that, please let us know. We'll make sure we do our best to promote that.
Yeah, we'll talk to Matt. Matt's already been in touch already to say he's going down, looking forward to meeting us. So
yeah, he's super keen.
Yeah.
Jason and I will get on commentary.
Yeah, well, let's see. Well, I won't be able to come. I'm rolling solo this weekend with the kids, so Lisa's away up for a nice break for this weekend, and so when you see me next week, I'll look even more haggard than I do now. So so yeah, so I will be missing the games because I have two Rugrats running around causing chaos. So.
Guys, thanks again for coming on. We'll wrap that up here. Jason, do you have any NLBM art stuff coming up today, or when's the next interview?
No, there's none tonight. There's no one this week. We'll do it again next week there and catch up there. So as far as I know, there's nothing unless they absolutely need me to do another interview.
All right, well, let's just plug all the kind of usual social media then. Obviously, those who are watching the live stream will know that we're on Facebook at Caps and Pipes, facebook.com/Caps and Pipes. It's Twitter at Caps and Pipes. You can find Jason's other show at TN Tops.
You can find us at Linktree. If you go to Linktree, Caps and Pipes, it has all of our stuff on there now. So you just have to go there and you can follow us on all the social media things, except for YouTube, which I have the wrong one up.
Yes, I still have to fix that. Sorry, I'll get.
No, I have to fix it. It's my fault. I sent it to my own one, not yours. So.
That's fine. I'll get that all sorted out and sent off to you. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, all the rest of the podcast providers, or anchor.fm/Caps and Pipes. Please do listen to all the previous episodes. There's video on YouTube, and there's video here on Facebook on demand. That's about it, isn't it?
All right, good luck, guys. We're rooting for you guys to win. Bring back the trophy.
Do our best, man.
Thanks again,
See you,
guys. Good night, everyone.
I guess